Welcome back to Terrace Talk. Southampton play Ipswich this weekend, so we thought, why not bring back two ex-Terrace Talkers to preview a Premier League game. We've got Ian from Ipswich, of course, and Joe from Southampton. How are you, fellas?
Very well.
One of you's doing okay. Anyway, Joe, as an Everton fan, we can sympathise with each other, and I think that last game of the season, the last ever game at Goodison, Everton versus Southampton, might just be a winner stays up game at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it would be tough because the gulf in class between the Premier League and the Championship is just ridiculous. But I didn't expect it. Didn't expect some of the results that we've had or some of the goals that we've conceded just being ridiculous. But
Ipswich come to St Mary's then this weekend. Is Russell Martin under any kind of pressure if he doesn't get a result here, or what's the board's feeling? Is there any rumblings? Or
I don't think he's under pressure from the board. I think it's more our fan base that have really got on his back the last few games, especially after the Brentford game, because that was just calamity after calamity. But even if we don't get a result, I would still like to think that the board have enough faith in him to give him a bit more time, because we've still got some players left to come back from injury that kind of got pushed out in the cold last season that have come back in and are ready to go, but it's just trying to fit them into our new system.
We used the word stubborn a lot to describe him last year, don't you? Do you think he'll change from the Russell Martin way? I mean, he definitely didn't at Swansea.
I would like to think that he has a different plan up his sleeve sometimes. The first three games we've set up in a 3-5-2 and it just hasn't worked. And even against Man United on Saturday, we set up with a back four and we looked way more solid. But it was just a classic case of not being able to take our chances and miss the penalty, and they go up 2 minutes later and score at the other end anyway. But yeah, it's been a tough old start.
Well, teams that know about tough old starts, home to Liverpool and away to City, don't get any tougher than that. Ian, what have you found out about Ipswich in the last couple of games when you've had relatively more straightforward fixtures?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, being a relatively small fish in what is a very big sea. It's you go into it thinking you're prepared, you buy players, you think you're prepared, but it's not just having those players. It's a massive mindset shift. And I think that, certainly from Ipswich perspective, they'll be buoyed by a fairly good 0-0 draw away at Brighton, who are on form, following on from a 1-1 draw at home to Fulham, where we probably look more likely to win. I mean, the Liverpool Man City first two games, it was a baptism of fire. So I'd like to think that, we've got the hard games out of the way, and it's never going to be plain sailing, but they're certainly looking at Saturday as a, should win. But, last season, Southampton was two really, really difficult games. We did the double, but, it could have gone either way.
Do you both feel that the money that the club have had available to them has been spent well, and has there been enough made of it? Ian, I mean, we've looked here and talked about, Sunderland fans. We've talked about them, Jack Clark each week, Sammy Smodics, of course. Hull are missing Jacob Greaves massively. Are you happy with how much has been invested?
I am to a degree, because I think in previous transfer windows, you've never had this worry of, we need to get a player, we're coming up the window, here's 20 million. We've never had that money to kind of throw around. And, this season we've broken our record day after day on the money being spent. And Greaves absolutely worth every penny. People might question that, some of the money we spent maybe on Liam Delap, but, he's been strong up front for us. He's a very, very young player. So I think McKenna was quite clear. He wanted players that would give us longevity, because we've got to make sure we stay in the Premier League to do that. And I think the difficulty is, certainly from Ipswich perspective, is we could have bought players who are much better for the same price, but their salary would have been a lot bigger. But also, those players wouldn't have wanted to join Ipswich. People go, I can't believe you paid 20 odd million for Liam Delap when we bought ex-international for half that. Yeah, but that ex-international wants to play at Liverpool, wants to play at Chelsea. That's the problem. We need to cement our place in the Premier League. Maybe next year some bigger names will come. I mean, obviously everybody raised an eye when Calvin Phillips said he was willing to play for Ipswich. Well, oh my God, this guy scored for England literally a year ago, and now he's out there playing in an Ipswich shirt. So for us, that was a coup, and it was great to see he was willing to come and play for us, and hopefully we can encourage others to do likewise.
Okay. Joe, what about you from a financial point of view?
I mean, we spent a lot of money. I think we spent just over 100 million, but I'm personally yet to see anything from the players that really have been brought in that fills me with any sort of hope that it's going to be a season that's of safety for us. I mean, we paid 20 million for Harwood Bellis, and he is just an absolute shadow of the player that he was last season. I don't know if it's the step up in league. I don't know if it's the difference of the opposition, but the mistakes that he's been making have been really bad. We brought Lallana back on a free. I think that's a very good signing because it's more of a player coach role. And I went to the Cardiff Cup game and he came on for the last 20 minutes and he spent that entire 20 minutes just talking to all the youngsters, telling them where they needs to be. It was like a mini coaching activity on the pitch as well as playing. So it was really good to see.
Okay. Listen, we wish you both well. We'll catch up with you for the reverse fixture, I think, later on in the season. And of course, I'll see you both at Goodison when the fixture comes around. Are you going tomorrow night, Joe, for the cup game? Or?
No, I'm not. I actually, as of yesterday, just got back from my stag do, so I'm going straight back to work tomorrow in recovery mode.
Fair enough. Thanks for joining us. Right. Well, listen. Wish both of luck. Well, best of luck to both of you. I hope all three of us manage to stay up. And who can we send down? Leicester, Palace, and
Forest.
We'll send Forest. Oh, they're looking good, aren't they?
They're looking good this year. They've got a bright cup.
Yeah, they really are.
Right. A score prediction this weekend before we go then. Joe, you're at home.
I don't even know. 1-1. I'm just going to put out. I mean, hopefully we'll score, but I really can't see us winning at the moment. It's 1-1, I think. Okay.
You had them sus last year, Ian. You did the double. Do it again.
I think our strength is at the back. I think we've become impenetrable. And I think that as long as we can get those fast breaks from Smodics or Delap, then there's nothing to say we can't get to. I'm going to be ambitious here and go for a 2-0 away win for Ipswich. Yeah. Put us up above Man United in the table, hopefully.
Brilliant. Enjoy the game. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for coming back on and sharing your thoughts. Don't be a stranger. We'll see you again, hopefully, later on in the year. Cheers, Ian. Cheers, Joe.